Friends, neighbors, and of course, the YouTube comment section. Hello! Welcome back, and welcome to a special edition of Messy Desk Presents Building Rack Panels with Billy. What's going on, y'all? I'm sorry. Again, I've been apologizing on all these videos. I've been kind of slacking. It's been super busy around here, and generally, if I want to make a project take 3 times as long, I set up a camera and film. So anyway, today's panel. This is going to be a sort of general I/O panel for an entertainment center case that we're building. I feel like I always kind of say this, but one of my favorite things to build, I know, I say that about everything. I like my job, what do you want me to say? Is our entertainment center cases. So basically, these are fully integrated systems that go out on tours. It's basically like a green room kind of case. So if you're hanging out backstage and you got to play in front of 50,000 people and you want to chill out and all you want to do is play some Xbox, we got the system for you. So first plug of the show. If you guys aren't currently following LM, as in LM Cases, check us out on Instagram, LM_cases. Or if you want to follow LM's channel on YouTube, it is LM, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do my thing, LM Cases 1985. Those are much better shot videos than on the Billy channel. Adam does a good majority of the video editing on that, so you know it's good. Unlike my trash videos with a trash desk and, you know. Anyway, housekeeping. Check out the Billy Amazon store. That link is here or something. If you guys are interested in the tools, I know that I oftentimes get comments on tools. That's where do you get the tools and that kind of thing. Get them from Uncle Jeff. Get them from Jeff Bezos. And I get like 18 cents out of everything that you guys buy. So if you're going to buy it from Uncle Jeff anyway, help your pal Billy out. Oh, another question in a previous video. Somebody asked me about these little pink stickers. I ID all of my tools, or at least a good majority of my tools in integration, so that if somebody steals them, they will bring them back. So I just have a roll. Oh, let me reach over here. I have a roll of stickers that I keep here, and I make the same joke every single time I get a new tool. And it's Toy Story. Make a spot. This is where the spaceship lands. Because every tool I get, I pretend it's Buzz Lightyear because I am a child. And I appreciate you guys watching. Anyway, these are just ID stickers. They just say LM Cases. Hold on, try to get this to focus. They say LM Cases, Integration Department, please return if found. And I made them pink, as many people refer to it here at LM. It's Billy Pink. I like this fuchsia color, I always have. It's a default stock color in Adobe Illustrator. Anyway, so today's panel, this has some of my favorite devices in it, which is why I chose to show you guys. Check this out. Honeywell, waterproof, heavy-duty rocker switch. Ooh, a satisfying, hold on, I'm gonna do an extra ASMR. Ooh, $45. Or I think it's more than that now. It used to be $45. Now I think it's like 50 or 60 bucks, but waterproof, so satisfying. Wait, did you miss the ASMR? Good stuff. This controls the lift. So we're gonna put this guy here. So the lift that we use for this case is actually from Penn. It's a Vincent lift, which I don't really love as far as build quality goes, but it is a necessary evil to get the profile of the case down to 28 inches, so we use it. So anyway, you can control that lift with a remote control. And they have this factory rocker switch that comes, and it has this little Molex connector on here. But I thought to myself, why have this junky sounding switch when you can have this better sounding switch? So basically what we're going to do in the video here is I'm just going to grab my multimeter and do a bit of a continuity test, and we are going to figure out the pinout on the Phoenix connector here, and then I'm going to run, wait for it, Star Quad cable. One of the many reasons why I keep just reels of Star Quad in stock is that it solves problems like this for me. So this is a 3-conductor cable. Maybe it's probably more than that, but they're only using 3 conductors. So I will just match the pins so that they go to this, a much better sounding switch. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be throwing my $45 switches around. Again, speaking of overly expensive, these things are insane. The Leviton dual USB-C outlets, these are like 50 bucks. Another thing. It's like, I feel like a lot of the integrated systems, people look at the price tags and they're like, oh my God, why is this thing so expensive? Some of many parts. Sorry, autofocus is doing its thing. I'm being extra Italian today and using my hands a lot. Check these out. These are among my favorite things. Siemens analog incandescent light indicator light. Oh, I know. It's 1982, baby. Here we go. And to complement it is another super satisfying Siemens oil tight, look, oil tight button. You want some ASMR action? Of course you do. Oh, so good. Wait, slow. Now faster. It's good either way. So basically, the way that this works is this is a little 12 volt DC light, and what this does is it activates the power sequencer in the system. So this guy mounts just like this. And comes through the panel just like that. Come on, you know that's cool. It's really, really cool. You know that everybody wants to touch this big green button. And then when the last bank of the power sequence has activated, you get this oh so satisfying green indicator light, which just is levels of cool that, well, I haven't been able to match since I got cut from the 6th grade basketball team. So those are my overkill things. So I've been speccing these lights for around, or this indicator light package for around a decade. This thing's like $200 now because it says Siemens on it and it's an industrial grade thing. And I think this thing's like $100 or so. They used to be like 50 bucks a piece. But we had a thermoform plastics machine at LM in the 80s, and it had this huge control panel that I used to go to work with my dad on Saturdays, and he used to let me play, or he would tell me what buttons to push, and we would run cases on Saturdays back when we were trying to make our version of SKB cases for keyboards and guitars and stuff. The Ultralight series, for those of you who are interested in some Googling. We haven't made those since the early 90s. But they had this huge control panel that had decorative die grinder things on it, and my dad used to let me run the machine, but he used to be like, okay, we're gonna hit the oven button and we're gonna hit this, and they were all of these, or they were Allen and Bradley switches, but you know, Siemens, Allen and Bradley. But I just thought those were really cool. And when it came time to build projects like this, where it's just like, you know, we're already putting a PlayStation in a case, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like, you know, if you're in for a penny, in for a pound, if you're gonna do something that's completely unpractical, let's do something that's cool. So we've been designing this panel this is probably a 10-year-old panel design. So this still has USB A's punched in here. So I have upgraded the design by putting at least 2 USB-Cs. I just bought a new set of AirPods, and I'm like, oh, God, I can't plug this thing into anything. As much as just Apple, you keep revving your connectors. So the other things on the panel, so I mean, again, self-explanatory. This is how you activate the system. This is how you turn it on. And again, it's just, we have a system processor in there, and you know, you don't want to pop the speakers and that kind of thing. So you hit it, the power sequencer does its thing, and then the indicator light comes on. Oh, so satisfying. Again, follow LM. You can see this, the finished thing. Sorry to tease you with just this. Courtesy panel, you know, so you can charge 7 devices. 9 if you count the AC outlets, which is kind of cool. So basically this lives in the case, and you can put your phones and stuff on top. One of the other things that we started doing with these kind of systems is this is a line level audio output. So basically I like DBX Zone Pros for these kind of things. I'll just take outputs of the DBX Zone Pro and just give a duplicated output. It's basically like a matrix on a console. But if you are feeding a larger system, like we build a lot of these things for like e-game tournaments and things like that. So, you know, if the case is generating system audio and it needs to feed a bigger PA system, this is just a isolated output so that you can feed a larger PA system with that. This is an HDMI. This is aux input for the TV. This is an analog audio input for the the system processors, which I'm sure no one will use. And this is just going to end up being a USB 3.0 cable, so that if you have a USB stick or something like that and you want to plug it to the TV, there's going to be a nice loom that goes up to the TV, and then this will just terminate to that, so you don't have to plug into the TV. You can plug in here. It's all nice and central. So anyway, all right. First order of business, I am going to figure out what our pinning is for this, and this stuff is relatively cheap, so the colors on the cables are never the same, so I'm going to figure that out, and we'll start to get some tails mounted and soldered. So I'm going to reset my super messy table. Oh, hey, I forgot to show you guys this. I don't know if this holds true for anybody here. Do you guys remember Farmmore? Am I dating myself? Farmmore was like a northeastern Ohio, originated in Youngstown. It's like a Walmart that went super bankrupt because they said that the only guy that Sam Walton was afraid of is the guy that started Farmmore. So when we were moving shops, I found this Farmmore bottle of isopropyl alcohol in our storage closet, and I have taken it for my own. So I just keep filling it with rubbing alcohol. It's not like 40-year-old. This has to be from the early 90s. Anyway, I just keep this on my table to see if anybody gets it. It's my own little Youngstown troll, so if any of you guys remember Farmmore, drop a comment below. All right, I'm sorry. I'm chatty today. Too much coffee. I'm going to get this cleaned up, and we're going to start soldering. Okay, so I would bet that many of you are probably following this channel, not just for my super awesome dad jokes, but because the general story of my life is I am trying to make something do what it's not designed to do. So the basis of my channel is basically that, is how do you make something do what it's not designed to do? So let's start with this guy. So, this is when you start to really, really appreciate the old multimeter, which is why I generally keep mine. I have a little clamp meter that I'll keep on this little quick grip here. So generally with these kind of things, what we'll do is you're just using the ohm function to test for continuity, and then that just lets you know how things are routed. So what I do is grab scraps of paper. Hey, check this out. You're foreshadowing to a future project. This is this new mic splitter that I'm working on. I just found this stack of paper on my desk. So what I will do is we will take our pins. So there's 3 little spade connectors on disconnects right there. So we'll call that like this. And our Sharpie will have died, even though we store them tipped down. Go like this. Now, obviously, this is sort of relative here because we don't know what is up and what is down. But what we can do is we have a direction on our Phoenix connector. So if you notice, there's no pin out, or there's no pin sleeve in here. So what we'll do is we'll just draw this like this with our little tabby on the top, and we'll go meow, meow, and just like that. So we will call this 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3. If you can read my chicken scratch. Okay. So again, I plugged my Amazon tool store, but again, there are certain things that I use absolutely every day. These quad hands, helping hands, I use every single day. This Klein multimeter I use every single day. If you guys are looking to do this sort of thing and replicate my tools, or if any of these tools look interesting to you, check out my Amazon store. So let's see. So all we're doing, so when you touch these two together, you hear the beep, or those of you with tinnitus or who may be a little bit older probably can't hear that, but that means the circuit's completed. So what we'll do is we'll take this pin, our top pin, and we'll just check and see where it is. Ooh, look at that, first one. All right, so this is pin 1. So 1 is 1. Let's see if 2 is 2. That'd be kind of convenient. Of course not. Okay. And then this would be 3. All right, so I'm going to draw a new one. Go like that. And then we'll go, meow. So confirming this is pin 1. It is pin 1. This is pin 3. And that is pin 2. So basically what the switch is, you have a common, and then you basically just will reverse the voltage. So this would be the common, and then this would be positive, positive. So it's off A, off B. So with those kind of things, the lift, as long as you get your common pin, so in this instance it would be pin 3. As long as we get pin 3 right, and you know pins 1 and pins 2 don't really matter because we can just switch the switch in the panel. It doesn't really matter because it's only a 2-direction switch, so very easy to figure out. So what we can do, furthermore, is we can take this guy. Are you ready? This is the part that everybody hates. Ugh, hurts every time. Move this out of the way, and let's see what our colors are. So like with these, I'll still use my catapult. So let's see what, I'll just use the 10 gauge wire setting, and that generally takes these little multis apart without killing them. There we go, we didn't fray any of the wires. Hooray! I do have a secondary set of wire strippers that I carry that aren't catapults. This one goes down to, it's 16 to 26 gauge, so when you're making XLRs or any of these kind of things, it's good. Okay, so we will put this back in our helping hands, just like this. We'll orient our plug correctly. And then going back to continuity, so we know that this is pin 1. Let's see what our wires are. Ooh, pin 1 is black. Okay. Black. Okay, pin 3. Red, and pin 2 is, oops, and pin 2 is yellow. Yes, it is. Okay, so we're just going to check our work here. So pin 1 is black, pin 3 is red, and pin yellow. So the other thing I like to do is just touch these all and make sure that there isn't anything touching. That'll help you like for grounds and things like that when you're taking apart multi-core. You never know if it's ISO ground or if it's a common ground. So now we have this prepped. We'll set this off to the side, and then we are pretty much done with this guy, though I do have a big box of these things. So I am going to grab a big reel of Star Quad, and we'll get that going. All right, hacked myself off a piece of Star Quad. So I keep 2 flavors of Canary Star Quad in stock. This is the L4E5AT. I think it's a 5. It's a 5. So there's install version of this, and then there's portable version. They used to be very similar, but they changed them a little bit. So the install version, which is what this is, and if you're curious, you can check the upper right-hand corner of your screen for a video that I have previously that is showing you the difference between the two. The install version and the portable version used to be very, very similar, and I used to only buy the install version because it's way easier to terminate. So the install version doesn't have foil braiding. It only has, it doesn't have a braided shield. It only has foil. So taking these apart, I'll show you. So this is what it looks like when you take it apart or you take the outer jacketing off. So the outer jacketing is a little thinner. The portable stuff is easier to wrap. The outer jacketing is kind of gummy. It's my favorite wrapping mic cable ever. So everything I have for myself in Billyland, sorry I'm taking this apart like an absolute idiot. I should be way smarter, but you want to do something bad, do it on camera. So that the comment section can say, well, actually. So the bad thing about the install stuff is it has these little threads in here, and then it has this yellow, whatever this stuff is, in here. So again, my favorite tool of all time, Desert Island tool. These are $9. These Klein flush cutters. You want to make your zip ties look really awesome? Get yourself a set of these now. So we don't need the drain wire in this. I'm just going to cut that off. So with this, I know I'm pretty close with my length on this, but again, the only thing that I need to do is get this roughly terminated so that I just need to get this roughly terminated so that I can run this in the loom. So I know that this is going to get trashed. This cable end is going to get pretty trashed, which is why I terminated this side really long, in case you're wondering, comment section. It is intentional. I terminated that one pretty long so that I can cut the ends off once they get all weird. I'm going to tin them, but, ooh, speaking of, turn my soldering iron on. You know who forgot to shut their soldering iron off? Me. So again, get rid of this drain wire. So with Star Quad, you get technically 5 conductors. It's 4 conductors, 4 insulated conductors, and a drain wire. So in a normal situation, when you're dealing with a mic line, these are twisted like this. It's a twisted pair. But one of the reasons why I love this cable so much, one reason being it really is, if you are doing remote recording, or which is where I really fell in love with it, or you're doing any type of live work, all you need is for someone to run a DMX line next to your audio, and you have like a 50-foot mic line going someplace, and you will realize how amazing Star Quad is. So it's thin, it's 24 gauge wire, or maybe 26. So all I'm doing is I'm going to take this apart, or I'm going to strip the insulation off, because we only need 3 conductors. So I just want to know what's 1, what's 2, etc. And then usually for this, I will just make little lines. So we do a lot of LED lighting here at LM, and Star Quad is my cable of choice, because if you're dealing with RGB, you need 4 conductors. So oftentimes I will run everything down 4-pin XLR. I swear to God, LM is the largest consumer of 4-pin XLR in the history of the world, because who else wants it? It's such an esoteric thing. So again, all I'm going to do here is just kind of flay these conductors out really quick. And then let's see what's what. So again, we're going to use continuity here on the old multimeter. So let's pick a white one. Let's see. Not you. Okay. So I'm going to just bend this guy out of the way. And since they're all the same colors, I'm going to do this. Just confirm. So what I'll do is just grab a Sharpie and just go little guy like that. It's number 1. Check for the 58th time. All right, so I'm going to pull this other white conductor out because we don't need it anymore, and it'll just be confusing. So now we know if we make 1 our common, or you know, number 1 in this conductor set our common, we know that the direction will be controlled by one of the blues. So if it comes down to it, we can just reverse them. So let's see. Okay, so we'll call this actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to call white number 2. And we are going to call this number 1. All right, for the 58th time, let's just double check it. A pen is not a multimeter probe, and this will be number 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we are going to double check our math on this one last time. 3. Yep. 1, 2. Okay. So what we are going to do now is I am just going to tin these. So now, hold on, more ASMR. We're going to just solder our switch. So again, I'm sure that there are some of you looking at this and saying, Billy, wouldn't it be easier if you crimped spades on the end of that so that so that you can reverse them if you have to? And the answer is, of course, yes. Yes, it would. Am I going to do that? No, I'm not. Because A, I like to make things harder, and B, I'm worried about them rocking off. I do use spades, but I do also like to solder things so that they're more durable. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to solder this now. I am just going to make our cable patch here. So to do that, I'm going to hack our cable patch, our cable splice. To do that, I'm going to pull a little bit more of this exterior jacketing off. Ooh, I thought I was going to have to go back to the heat shrink well, but I've got some right here. See? That's why I keep my desk messy, you guys. It's for reasons like that. When I'm all hooked up with a microphone and stuff, I don't have to stop the video recorder. Just have to scrap a heat shrink. Ooh, I'm still going to need some, though. Shiza. All right, so I know that some of you were panicking. I know that you thought it could be a Billy video without heat shrinking something. Because just remember, the golden rule. The difference between hobbyists and integrators is the amount of heat shrink used. Write that down. Okay, again, I'm trying to extol the virtues of helping hands. See what we're up to here? Oh my God. Let's go. Okay, so red is pin 3. So that is blue in our world. So what I'm going to do is I slid a piece of heat shrink back on this. So I'm going to grab a tiny little piece of heat shrink because we have to keep our conductors separated. Like that. Where are we? Pin 3 or wire conductor 3? A little bit overzealous on my tinning here. I probably shouldn't have done that. So all we're going to do is splice this like this. Okay. And this is rosin core solder, so 4-core rosin core solder. Come at me, bro. Just gonna, we don't need to put flux on here. It'll be okay. For those of you wondering, all 2 of you, I have my soldering iron set on 600 degrees. Seems to be the magic setting. So when I do these little splices like this, I just always make sure to make sure that I have good penetration. I don't want the dreaded cold solder joint. So black. Okay. Is it pretty? No. Is it secure? Yes. So let's tin our XLRs. You guys have seen that before, so we'll time lapse that. What do you guys think? I know. It's pretty cool. And overkill, right? I think so, at least. Anyway, so I didn't populate the HDMI or the TV USB. I have to make a big loom of HDMIs that are going back to the TV, so it's just easier to terminate that from the other side. But anyway, this is it pretty much mounted. So I mean, again, you know, things aren't terminated. The XLRs aren't terminated. They're gonna have to go into a Phoenix connector. But anyway, this is cool, right? I didn't call this out. I just kind of thought that the video was getting long and boring. But these panel mount USBs are made by a company called Data Pro. I've been using them for over a decade. Very cool. Not necessarily cheap, but very, very cool. If you need low pro stuff, so I mean, again, if you don't want to do an HDMI and a D punch, which is, you know, that versus that, it's huge. So it's the same thing with the aux audio input. I like it because it's molded. It's a molded female that's on the back of that. So anyway, again, ooh, oh yeah, that's way better. That's way better to start a system with instead of just like a regular Furman thing. $100 button will always be better. Anyway, again, please follow LM. Check out LM's Instagram. I will have pictures of this case up on LM's Instagram. And again, if you want to check out LM's YouTube, LM Cases 1985, you can do that just to see what this looks like when it's done. The Entertainment Center cases are always very cool. But again, I just think that this is such a unique panel. That, you know, just with this side of the panel alone, I just think it's so visually interesting to look at. I just figured I would build it on camera because I need to make tens of dollars a year off YouTube content. Anyway, you know what? Before we sign off, I am going to leave a link in the description for this guy. So if you do want to read the finer points of it on LM's website, you can check it out because I do have a special page on that. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next one. See ya.